Everybody, welcome back with the Plapper. Platypus is the name, and I'm gonna show you how to defeat this boss. What boss is it? This is the interior boss of the blue pot. So this boss can come off as seeming pretty difficult, and they can be if you're not paying attention. And the translation, honestly, is like a little scuffed. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to go through and do a little bit of a guide. We'll go in, we'll look at the fight, we'll do it. Obviously, I'm at the end right now. I'm on whatever, number 33 of 34. This is the team that I am using, right? This is not a super pay-to-win team. You might not have Magna, but you probably have some sort of defensive character, right? And they are like, I think some of them are a little over-leveled for this because this is stage 3, and I think I have access to stage 4 now, but I'm bringing some new lower-level characters that I kind of wanted to just get some gear on so I could use them for random content. So this is the team that I'm using. And the reason why I'm using these units are actually relevant. In fact, some of the best units in the game are going to be units like, I think it's Victoria, one that attacks at the end of her turn. When you end your turn is very powerful. So we'll get into it, but let's just get into the fight, and that way I can explain it there and we can show you everything. So here we go. So here we are in the fight. So the first thing we're going to notice when we fight this character is that they are going to summon ghouls, 3 ghouls in the very first turn of combat. They get ghoul synchronization. I believe it's the one, like, only the ghoul in the front takes damage, something like that. I don't quite remember that exact phrasing. And they grant 2 extra action to other monsters. So what's actually really important here is on the first turn of combat, you actually don't want to do anything unless you have haste, because she's gonna go, and her big thing is this enhanced action. A lot of enemies leading up to this boss have similar mechanics, but when acting, add a strong attack action and remove enhance action. After 1 turn at the start of the turn, gain enhance action. How does this play out? This means she has a second action. She has 1 turn before she takes her action, which is the Unleash the Ghoul in this case. Normally it'll be longer by a couple turns, but whatever. In this first turn, it's only 1. And then after that, she's gonna rip out her arms, and she gets a second super powerful action that will actually, like, really screw you up if you're not ready for it. So you want to play this you want to play this fight without having her first action trigger. So things like haste are really good. Being able to delay their meter is very powerful. Characters that attack at the end of the turn. So I'm thinking of, like, I believe it's Renoa, who her dirge bullets, like when they get discarded, she just starts shooting. Those happen before this happens, right? So like you get a bunch of damage without having to actually spend cards. Haste obviously gets around it. And then a character that has also characters that have big hits that are expensive, right? So Owen's actually not bad because he has a couple cards that like cost 2 and hit really hard and give you some shield. So he's actually pretty decent for this fight in addition to the weakness. Lucas is also okay. He's able to get a bunch of magazines going where he gets these bullets. And if you get the RPG, it's like Renoa at home. He'll discard these bullets and then he'll deal damage. And so those are the kind of things. I played for 2 hours. Please be warned, excessive gameplay could ruin my life. Stop it, YouTube. Stop it. I'm trying to make a YouTube video. So on the very first turn here, we're actually not going to do anything, because if we do, they're going to hit our team really hard. And I don't want to start like that. And honestly, I mean, we could use something like this, but we don't need to yet. I think it's okay. Also, we'll turn that off because we're going to be seeing that a lot in this fight. So now we can take a look. They have 11 actions. So now this extra action is like a big deal, but it's like we don't need to worry about it this turn. We can play all the cards we want, no problem. I also am on the deep trauma difficulty. I don't know if that actually adds much difficulty. It doesn't seem to. The enhanced effects there and the abnormal, like, these don't seem that major for the high level of epiphany and save data, so that I kind of prefer doing that. So, and now the very first thing they're going to do, they're going to summon the ghouls. All right, soul sharing, change damage taken to 0 if the ghoul is positioned on the far left. Remove soul sharing. So this is a fight that is kind of deceptive. It looks like you want AoE. You do not want AoE. They're like, it could be okay to have a little bit because it's like fine to hit the boss and hit one of the ghouls, but you would still rather like one-shot one of these ghouls, in my opinion, like a lot of the time. So that is like relevant. Look at 2 extra actions. These guys are just going to go as well. So we do have to start killing them sooner rather than later. But another character that's pretty bad at this fight is like a Hugo, where he has his attack that the follow-up is good, but he has like one of his really good attacks is like hit 3 random targets, or like untargeted attacks, or it hits random targets. That is so bad in this fight because you are able to target and hit the ghouls in the back and you just deal 0 damage. So you got to be very, very careful there. So we have a wind slash here we can open up with. I might even open up with something like this just to get us on the right foot right away. Because obviously the wind slash is good, but it's not insane. But it will give us, and also this will give us probably enough shield where we don't take damage. This is also pretty good. It is really annoying to miss the first turn, but I think we're gonna open with this, applying, because this will apply vulnerable to the targets here. Like, as far as the deck itself, that is not the most important thing to pay attention to, because right when you get to this point, your characters and your deck and your equipment will all be different. It's the overall strategy that I want people to pay attention to. So I mean, honestly, I could hit that guy. I think we're going to just finish this guy off. We could just do this. This is probably the way to go. They are gonna, if we ended our turn right now, they would hit us, but they're gonna hit us even more. What about this 2 energy here? Probably not enough. Let's just go ahead and smack this down. We are probably still gonna end up taking damage. Let's not pretend like we're not, because they get the extra actions. But now they have 4 turns. Well, now we're kind of out, but we could focus on killing this guy. But again, now at this point, we're already not gonna take any damage. So I'm not super concerned about that. We'll hold off this turn and see what they're actually going to do. Also, this character is not particularly good for this boss fight because the counterattacks will counterattack on the ghouls. So they still have their extra attack, but we do have the extra charge here, so we could probably end something. We have a good amount of turns here because this guy takes 7. I think he gets faster and faster. In fact, he might even get rapid speed, reduce action count by 4 every time the ghoul acts. So we want to kill these ghouls ASAP. So we will go ahead and do this. And we'll kill the ghoul before he gets a chance to go. And I don't think that'll quite kill him. I really want to kill the ghoul before he gets a chance to go, so I will use this. It's kind of expensive. Maybe it's not ideal, but again, you know, it should be within the realm of like acceptable. All right, we will get our energy back. Bada bing, bada boom. What are you doing this turn? Transform randomly into a snap ghoul or a slash ghoul. Apply 1 morale to all enemies. Okay, well, we've killed his ghouls, so we're probably fine. Let's go ahead and get our extended magazine going finally, and we will take this for the counter attack. What's most important is we don't let them get to 0 while we're attacking. Didn't it say to all enemies? Did he give it to himself? He gave it to himself. Okay, well, I mean, whatever. Did it say all that? It doesn't matter. Soul Scream, gain, and 2 rapid speed. See, if he gets a lot of rapid speed up to 9 stacks, he starts going so fast. But we should have the fight relatively under control at this point. First thing I'm going to do is start getting the damage going with this. Ice Wall is not ideal, but it has an epiphany attached to it, but I don't really need that. I think I want to save the vulnerable until later, so I think I'm going to, because this will kind of automatically go off. Let's take a look. This says 3957 38. Okay, so this just does more damage, so we'll do this. And this is exhaust. It does. So we will do this first. See where. Then do we want to ice wall? I just don't feel like I need the ice wall because I don't care about the 2 damage reduction this turn. I don't care about the counter attack. I don't think. How many counter attack do you have? You currently have 4 counter attack. I mean, that's probably enough because you're getting some every turn. It gives you shield you can't use. It's not that useful right now. So we're just going to punch him, get 1 counter attack, and then we're going to break armor at the end of the turn and get the vulnerable stacking up on him. And you get the agony. I forget about that from the equipment because it doesn't come up that much. I can't stop him from gaining that rapid speed, which is unfortunate. So he's going to get fast. So even though it's like 11 turns, now it's going to be like 5 turns, right? So you have way less turns, and you got to be very, very careful when fighting this guy. So, for example, I could do this. I have 4 cards is what I could use. because I don't want to go further. So I can go one. I can go 1, 2, 3, and I don't even need to guard this turn, so I probably end with this. So we're gonna go with Wind Slash first, because that does how much? 498. Really? Oh, but it's probably because it's not targeting. Okay, so we'll start here. 1. Wind Charge. Gale Strike. And now we're just out of energy anyway. We could do this to not take damage. Our character is getting pretty close. I would like to not take the damage, I think. I think I'm okay with not taking damage. And this will fire a shot. Pop, pop. And she should counterattack. Boom, boom. All right, so it is down to 5 and 2 rapid speed. Like, look at this. This guy is getting so fast. It becomes very hard to fight this guy without... I mean, we're at full HP. We're still in a fine spot, but that's because we're playing carefully. So we can Wind Ride. I like the 2 mark. We're not dealing damage this turn. Or, sorry, they're not dealing us damage this turn. So let's... Maybe we want to end on the mark, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, but we want... This is 1, 2. And then 3, 4. We're going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And this gives us 25% crit chance. I mean, we could use that, but I kind of like keeping it until like I feel like it's really needed. So now it should be down to 3 actions. But we're getting to the point where it might just be worth trying to just fucking kill this guy. He has a shield, so we'll do 30% more damage there, which is good in general. We already have the vulnerable on him, I believe. And this applies vulnerable itself, and it's gonna break him, so this is perfect. Now we can hand-to-hand combat and explosive shots. 334, 267. So this attack is so good, by the way. So I think we're gonna be able to kill him without even having to worry about it, you know. Thank God my mic is on, by the way. Sometimes I fuck that up. Yeah, let's just... That probably would have killed him if we did it in the other order anyway. But there we go. We just defeated the boss. The reason I wanted to make a boss guide for this kind of boss, one, I wanted to show that you could beat it with a relatively like sus team, as long as you're using the right strategies. But also, that boss beat me twice in a row before I actually stopped and read. I didn't understand its mechanic. Even though I read it, it didn't make sense to me. So I kind of wanted to show how that works. So hopefully that makes sense. I showed you through exactly what he does, the basic strategy. They only summon the ghouls the one time, and you really got to get them down ASAP. But as long as you try to deal a lot of damage, but just stay beneath that turn timer. And the reason I didn't even want to show you it goes above because I didn't want to risk losing, but they pull out their big arms and they'll do a big hit. So they'll get their normal action, they'll speed up because their actions make them speed up, and then they'll hit you really, really hard at the end of the turn. Your characters start going crazy, and that's that. So now that I'm out of the fight, you know, let's actually talk about some of the characters that I think are good and why that I think they're good, in case you're struggling on that. Obviously, like, the red characters are good. Like, I think they're both good in terms of dealing extra damage, but like mechanically they work out to be decent. I would say Lucas is the worst out of the 3 for this, but you just saw me do it, so that's not really that hard. Veronica is exceptionally good, and she feels like she's just exceptionally good at everything, but this whole idea that she gets a ballista every turn and the ballista is dealing damage, that means even if the guy had a turn of 1 and you didn't want to risk its double attack, she's just going to be able to do it every turn. Get damage in always, and it's always doing bonus damage because of the weakness, right? So she is probably, Veronica is probably the single best. And if we just go left to right, I don't have all the characters. Magna has been very good. She's just a good defensive unit. Keeps your team basically alive and not going crazy, so better than healing for the most part. Hugo, I felt like wasn't very good because he has a lot of random attack stuff, but if you are able to use a couple skills, it's just hard for him to get up to like this 5 stacks and maintain 5 stacks while you're trying to do this stuff, I feel like. But he's okay for the fight, I will say. I didn't really like him in the fight, but I think you can make him work, no doubt. Rin doesn't strike me as super strong in the fight. Not that she's bad, but she has a lot of like, the haste is actually fine. So with the haste stuff, it's probably good, but she just seems like a good generic damage dealer for it. Haru, really good. You could use her just big anchor shot every time it comes up, and that takes up most of your turn. You don't have to worry about it. Teresa, although maybe my favorite character, is very bad in this fight because she wants to be throwing like a lot of daggers, and that will just get you fucked right away. Do not use her. Beryl is very good, okay? Beryl is super good just in general, I feel like, but she's very good in this fight. You're obviously not gonna like want to build around like the heavy weapon specialist and guilty pleasure too much, but something like charge shot, if you have like a really cool leveled up charge shot, or like the opening found, it's just you got to retain these cards and have them build up damage, build up damage, build up damage, and then go in for a bunch of damage. So if you need to spend a full turn just shielding up, because let's say you only have 3 cards and they're going to hit you really hard, you could shield, then be done, and then on like the next turn you didn't really lose any damage necessarily because of charge shot, maybe a little bit, but she works very well. Lucas kind of has the same thing, but you have to build him for it. You don't want him firing all of his bullets. You want the bullets to be discarded and have him attack automatically. Owen is honestly just great because he could build up his ability to hit multiple times, do a lot of vulnerable, still shield at the same time. Owen's a little generic and boring, but works really well. Mika, not a fantastic one for this because she goes a whole bunch. And as far as the other 3, obviously mine are level 1. I don't really know how they do, so I don't want to get too much into them, but I don't think Ray is like strikes me as ideal, because she kind of does a thing that will make another thing better. And like gaining, I mean, this ability is fucking great. Predator's Blade is maybe the best card, like is a really good card. So that's super good, but you really want to be able to capitalize on it when you use it, to use a bunch of morale. Just to get all that extra damage. And if you're not going to use it, then because you only get like 2 cards, you really want cards with big costs and low impact. So even this character is probably not very good. Nia and Amir, I actually think Amir strikes me as pretty good because she has like really cheap cards that could minimize a lot of damage, and you could just keep building up these materialization stacks and then eventually convert them into damage, right? 90% times 2 defense-based damage. If you're in the state, you also apply vulnerable. And I'm sure she has some pretty cool upgrades as well. So she doesn't strike me as like broken there, but something that could absolutely work. Very weird character because she seems like defensive, but she doesn't generate any defense at all from any card besides Steel Barrier, which is what I think, right? When gaining shield via an ability, like what else gains shield without an epiphany? It's literally only this, but that's not what we're talking about. So yeah, if this is helpful to you, let me know. I haven't really figured out how, because the bosses are so weird where they're at the end of a run, I haven't really figured out how I want to structure these videos. So this is a first attempt where I show the boss first, try to kind of explain what's going on as it goes on, and then go to the units afterwards to say what kind of units you should consider bringing. But yeah, if this made sense to you and you want me to continue doing more, let me know. Anyway, that's all. Much love for Platypus. I'll see you on the flip-flops. Bye!